Ladies and gentlemen, while global attention remains fixed on Gaza, a parallel catastrophe is unfolding in the West Bank, one defined by mass displacement, systematic destruction, and a humanitarian crisis that threatens to permanently reshape Palestinian life there. Let me walk you through what's happening. Since January, Israel's military operations, codenamed Operation Iron Wall, have forcibly displaced 40,000 Palestinians from refugee camps like Jenin, Tulkarem, and Nur Shams. This isn't temporary evacuation, it's the largest forced displacement in the West Bank since 1967. Entire neighborhoods now stand empty. Families who fled under airstrikes and bulldozers are barred from returning, with Israeli forces declaring these areas closed military zones. Soldiers shoot at civilians who even attempt to check on their homes. One mother from Jenin described opening photos of her destroyed house and recognizing her children's bedsheets in the rubble. She said, "I couldn't speak. I just kept crying." The tactics are brutal and deliberate. The Israeli military uses armored bulldozers, controlled detonations, and aerial drones to demolish homes, water networks, and roads. In Jenin alone, hundreds of residences were flattened. Satellite imagery shows entire blocks reduced to debris. But it's not just about buildings, it's about erasing communities. Schools, clinics, and olive groves centuries old are gone. A farmer from Nur Shams watched bulldozers crush his apartment building, the place where his family celebrated weddings and mourned losses. He said, "Our memories are buried under that rubble." Settler violence is accelerating this displacement. Armed settlers, often backed by Israeli soldiers, attack Palestinian villages with near total impunity. They burn homes, poison wells, and torch olive trees. In one incident, settlers shot a 60-year-old farmer in front of his son, then called Israeli forces to detain them both. The man later lost his leg. Bedouin communities are particularly vulnerable, their water tanks sliced open, livestock stolen, children blocked from walking to school. In Kibbutz, settlers recently raided a donor-funded school at night, smashing classrooms just weeks after families returned under court order. This is coercion disguised as security. Economically, it's suffocating. Unemployment has hit 35% as Israel revokes work permits and blocks access to farmlands. Men risk their lives crawling through gaps in the West Bank barrier just to find day labor. 10 have been shot dead by Israeli forces since October. Meanwhile, Israel advances plans for 15,000 new settlement units, seizing private Palestinian land. The goal? To make displacement irreversible. As one displaced woman in a crowded school turn shelter told me, "They're emptying the land. We're being erased." The world's response? Words, not action. The UN calls this forcible transfer a war crime. Yet the US and EU keep funding the machinery of occupation. Meanwhile, Israel bans UNRWA from operating in the West Bank, starving refugees of aid. Thousands now sleep in tents, caves, or borrowed basements with no end in sight. As one father asked, "How do I explain to my children that home is now a crime scene?" This isn't collateral damage, it's calculated annihilation. And unless the international community intervenes, a new generation of Palestinians will grow up knowing only exile.